Hey Toku Faithful, time for another edition of Ask the Rider. Got one here from is it Jamie or Jaime Martinez? Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. 9 years ago you did a video on Kamen Rider adaptation. How would you adapt Kamen Rider now? Also, how about an animated Kamen Rider adaptation? Well, honestly, and I get this question about Kamen Rider adaptations a lot. People on Toku Riffs, Ranger Recap, write in. People go up to me at conventions and say, Easy, what show do you think would work over here as a Kamen Rider adaptation? And honestly, and this is probably the last thing I'm going to say about it, I wouldn't. Kamen Rider does not need to be adapted over here anymore. I mean, think about it. We're just now getting legal Kamen Rider over here in the States. I'm holding up my 01 box set. I was supposed to hold my Kuga box set for this video, but it hasn't arrived yet. Anyway, we're getting legal Kamen Rider over here, which is unthinkable. You know, something I never thought I would live to see. But here it is. I'm holding it in my hands. And honestly, why does this need to be adapted? It's available to buy online if you really love the show, or if you can't afford it yet. It's free and legal to watch on Shout Factory TV and Tokushoutsu. So this doesn't need to be adapted. The fight scenes don't need to be cut out and spliced in with footage from other actors. It's not 1993 anymore. Yeah, okay, Super Sentai wouldn't have been grasped over here at the time. So we got Power Rangers. Or in 86 when Heimsaban tried to bring Bioman over here. Honestly, because, you know, it would have been too foreign back then. You know, we would have laughed at it, or it would have gotten a bad parody dub like MXC, or just a bad dub altogether like Godzilla. Nobody, or Dynaman, you know, thinking about that dub. Nobody would have taken it seriously. But Power Rangers, it was lightning in a bottle. It just hit at the right time. It was something we'd never seen before in the States. And it just took off. Which people are going to probably say, Easy, you're being a hypocrite. Why can't Kamen Rider be adapted, yet Super Sentai is still adapted? The difference is Super Sentai, yes, it may, according to Hasbro, it may not be adapted anymore. We might be getting something completely original down the line. We don't know. The difference is the Power Rangers have become ingrained in pop culture here in the U.S. Maybe not so much everywhere else. I mean, Sentai is practically well known in other countries. India, Spain, France, etc., South America, etc., because they actually got the show over there dubbed, you know, the right way. But the point is, Power Rangers have become pop culture icons. So that's why we're still getting it over here. That's why we're still getting the Sentai adapted over here. Even though technically we don't need to anymore because, like I said, we're getting physical releases of that now. But again, like I said, Power Rangers have become a beloved thing of pop culture in the United States, and I don't feel it needs to go away. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Kamen Rider doesn't need that. Okay, let's look at the last 2 times they tried to adapt it. Saban's Masked Rider, I wouldn't say it flopped. It just, they picked the wrong show to adapt. But again, it was the 90s. Kamen Rider was sort of on hiatus at the time. There's no right way they could have done that, to be fair. And Kamen Rider Dragon Knight was not properly advertised. It was on a dead time slot, Saturday morning 2009. And by that time, Saturday morning cartoons were going the way of disco. I mean, it was the dying days, let's be fair. But honestly, why do we need to adapt Kamen Rider? Why do we need to take footage from shows we've already seen, well, most of us have already seen, and adapt it for, you know, for the kiddies? You know, just for the sake of argument. Okay, let's say Hasbro or some company did the adaptation, took time and money to bring a show like 01 over here, you know, for example, cut out all the footage of the Japanese actors, film new footage of American or New Zealand actors, whatever, and, you know, edit it in a way that makes it its own show. Sure, we'd watch it. I mean, yeah, we're Toku fans. We know about it. We've watched it. Sure, we'd watch it. And we'd probably buy the merchandise, if any, even though it's kids stuff. We still do that with Sentai and Power Rangers. But, honestly, would it gravitate towards kids? It's a gamble, and I don't know if anyone wants to take that gamble. And again, like I said, if you want to introduce your kids to Kamen Rider, here you go. You have the box sets. Again, it's streaming for free in places. I mean, okay, Kamen Rider really hasn't found its audience over here in the United States. It's got a cult following, to say the least. It's not as well beloved as Power Rangers or even Super Sentai yet. You know, Ultraman and Godzilla, they had a good head start in the 60s. But I think one day Kamen Rider will find its audience over here, and maybe other Toku shows will as well. But for right now, we don't need an adaptation to make that happen. Why? And besides, we're getting the new, not the new Kamen Rider series, but the remake of Kamen Rider Black Sun over here on Prime Video. So I don't see the need to adapt things like Kamen Rider anymore. It's kind of a moot point now that I think about it. I mean, if we weren't getting legal releases over here, I'd say, okay, maybe, yeah, it'd be an interesting experiment, you know. But would it really open the doors to fans? I mean, we live in the age where you can find anything on your smartphone. Just, you know, see a picture or something, look it up. It's not the 90s or the 80s anymore. Word of mouth and finding a bootleg VHS at a flea market. That's about as best as you were going to get back then. But nowadays, you can find literally anything on your phone. We don't live in the age where stuff like this is hard to find, unknown to us, or stuff like that. It's easily accessible. So, yeah, to answer your question, I wouldn't do an adaptation. If you guys think Kamen Rider needs an adaptation, that's fine. You know, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But for now, I don't think we need it. As for an animated adaptation, I could see someone doing that. I mean, we've gotten adaptations of Toku shows in anime form before. I mean, look at Futo-Pi. I mean, it's been really good so far, despite some hiccups, but we won't get into that right now. But if you're talking an American animated adaptation over here, I don't know anybody who would take the time or money to do that. And again, having it, you know, pay off in the end. I mean, would I like to see it? Well, sure. There is definitely several Kamen Rider series that could do for an adaptation, animated-wise. Again, like Futo-Pi is, well, that's more of a continuation, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to adaptations, Kamen Rider doesn't need one. It's not the 90s anymore. It's not that age anymore. Honestly, I would just rather people go out and see the real thing. I mean, Shout Factory is releasing these shows. We're getting random ones. People say, oh, we're not getting the good ones. We're not getting the good stuff yet. Well, you know what? Slow burn. We're getting there. And I'm amazed we've gotten stuff we've got. We got Kuga. We've got the original Kamen Rider series, 98 episodes. And who knows what'll come next. People like Media Blasters and Discotheque are releasing more Toku over here. I believe Media Blasters is releasing the 90s Kamen Rider movies. Zeto, Jay, Shin. Don't quote me on that. Last I heard they were. I haven't heard about it in a while. But the point is, I'd rather people find about Kamen Rider this way and not through some adaptation meant to sell toys. And yes, I know the irony in that is that that Kamen Rider shows and Toku shows are meant to sell toys for kids. But the point remains, I don't think shows like this need to be changed or Americanized or, you know, something like that. You know, I mean, think about it this way. Imagine if they did that for Doctor Who. It wouldn't work, especially today, you know, especially when, you know, something like that is well known over here. That has a big following over here in the States. Oh, hell, the entire world. But I just don't see adapted Kamen Rider working over here. I mean, we've had 2 tries, and honestly, leave it alone. It's fine the way it is. And I hope that answers your question. Anyway, don't forget to use the hashtag #AskTheRider, and who knows, maybe you'll get your question answered next time. Until then, later.